Welcome to today's class. Today's class is going to be a standing poses class. So there's going to be no moving down to the floor, getting up and down. So if that's something you don't like, then hopefully you enjoy this class. My name is Telisa, and let's get right into it. So we're going to start with a little bit of a grounding pose, but standing version. So we're going to start with Tadasana mountain pose. Stand with your feet together, big toes touching, and a little gap between your heels. And now I want you to visualize roots growing out from the bottoms of your feet, growing down through the mat, through the ground. So we are quite figuratively grounding down like a strong and stable tree. Lift up all 10 toes, flare them as wide as you can, and then starting with the pinky toe, try to fan them down. Big toe comes last. They might not cooperate, but that's fine. We're just trying our best. Pick up all the toes again, spread them wide, do it again. And then you can kind of rock your weight forward and back, side to side. So it's just subtle, but just feeling the weight distribution through the feet. Come to a point where it's really solid amongst all four edges of your feet. Let's do a little body scan, starting at the feet, coming up through the ankles, shins and the calves. And now let's stop at the knees for a moment. Stay where you are. I'm just turning to the side. If you have a tendency to hyperextend through the knees, just make sure you have that micro bend in them. Coming up through the thighs, hamstrings, glutes, and hips. And we're going to stop and pause here again. So imagine your pelvis like a bowl. I want you to tip the bowl forward. This is an anterior pelvic tilt. And then try to tilt the bowl back. This is a posterior pelvic tilt. When I'm always saying tuck your tail between your legs like a dog, we're coming into a posterior pelvic tilt. So just play around with tilting your pelvis back and forth. And then I want you to come to a point where the bowl is sitting perfectly upright. So if it were full of water, it would not spill forward or backwards. Coming up to the core now, we're going to pause again. Take an exhale here, just a gentle exhale. And notice how your core slightly engages. I want you to keep that engagement here as you continue to breathe normally. So slight, gentle engagement through the core. Coming up, we're proud in the chest, so we can accentuate that by rolling the shoulder blades down and back the spine, palms face forward. And now while we're proud in the chest, we're humble in the head. We're not looking down our nose at anyone like we're better than anyone else. So proud in the chest, humble in the head. And then I want you to imagine a rope attached to the crown of your head and someone's pulling up on it, and you should feel yourself grow a little bit taller, inviting space in between the vertebrae. And with a strong engagement, starting to deepen your breath here, setting your gaze, your drishti, down at the floor, maybe closing out your eyes. Steadying the inhales and the exhales, increasing the length of them a little bit. You can start to implement your Ujjayi breath if you haven't already. It's that slight restriction in the back of your throat, making your breath wave-like. Staying there, I'm just rotating. From here, our first pose is going to be a little bit of a side bend. So inhale, both arms overhead, interlock all 10 fingers, release your pointer fingers, so your thumbs are still crossed, and then reach your arms up. Your biceps should be locked in by your ears. Push your hips a little bit forward, and then inhale, reach up a little bit more, and exhale, just gently come to the side. We're going to do 2 rounds of this. So this first round, I want you to take it really, really gentle. If it feels way too intense, you can lower this right arm and it'll add some support. Otherwise, if you can keep the arms up, then do so. Don't let the shoulder roll forward, so pull that left shoulder back. Chin is lifted up off of the chest. And then coming back up through center. Inhale to reach up and lengthen. Exhale, fold to the side. Again, just taking this first round gentle, warming up. Back up through center. Bend through the elbows to bring your thumbs to touch as close towards, maybe you come in contact with your upper back, maybe not. And then just straighten again. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold. Maybe this time you come a little bit deeper. Coming back up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reaching up and over to the other side. Up through center. Arms come down by your side. Give your shoulders a little roll. Backwards. And then forwards. Come to stand with your feet hip distance apart if you like to measure. 2 fists fit between this. You might recognize some similarities through this short flow with the Bikram style. Bikram, if you're not aware, is now a disgraced yogi. Typical case of gaining some power, let's say, in the community and abusing it. But this is the sequence that I learned off of. So despite all that, I still have a soft spot for it in my heart because it's what brought me to yoga. So inhaling, the arms straight ahead. Arms are strong and engaged. And from here, we're just going to sit down. So sitting down, bringing the weight more into the heels. See if you can sit down a little bit deeper. Try to keep the chest a little upright. And then coming back up to standing. This time, I want you to come up on your toes just a little bit. So the heels are lifting up, and then you're going to press your knees together. And now slowly, we're going to come down. Stop wherever you need to, but see if you can come all the way down. Once you're all the way down, we're trying to create a box shape with our arms and our legs here. So thighs are parallel with the ground, arms are parallel with the ground. And now coming back up, really squeeze your knees together. That helps stabilize you as you push up. Doing it slowly with control. Push the knees, push the knees, push the knees. Release the knees, lower the heels. Bring the arms down, roll them out just for a moment. Bring the arms back up in front. And this time, come up high, high, high on the toes. And same thing, we're just going to slowly sit down. Set your drishti, your focal point, with these balancing poses. Very important. Sit down as low as you can. And then all the way back up, side high, high, high on the toes. Lower the heels. Release the arms. Roll them out. From here, let's move into some side angle poses. So I'm stepping to the bottom of my mat and then taking a big, wide step to the side. So taking up as much space on my mat as I can. I'm going to turn my right toes out, pop my left hip out, reach forward with my right fingers, open up the palms, and then I'm going to windmill down for triangle pose. So we want to try to get a nice flat line here. Imagine yourself wedged in between 2 panes of glass. This bottom hand can be on the foot, the shin, down like mine, however you like. Our gaze is up past our left thumb. Make sure that wrist is stacked over the shoulder so it's not folding forward or back. We've got nice alignment, both legs are straight, pushing through the knife edge of the left foot. And then using your strength, coming up, turn those toes in, left toes come out, pop the right hip out, reach forward with the left fingertips, open the palms, windmill down. Again, imagine you're squished in between 2 panes of glass. Coming all the way up, turn those toes in, bend through the right leg, bring the legs together, arms up overhead, release the arms down by your side. Give the shoulders a roll if you like. Let's inhale, arms up, step to the side again, big wide step, arms come down to the side, turn your toes in a little bit here, and let's bring our hands to our hips for this first set. We're coming into a forward fold. So a slight micro bend in the knees, and we're hinging forward. Hinge forward as much as you can. If you feel like you are miles away from the ground, try to bring your feet even wider. That helps you fold a little bit deeper. And if you've got a lot of openness and you feel like it's too easy to get your to fold forward, shorten your distance a little bit, and that makes it more challenging. So folding forward, looking down at the mat, where our gaze goes, our body follows. Maybe you can bring your forehead in contact with the mat, and just keeping the hands on the hips for this first variation. We're going to do a few of these. Bringing the weight through the outsides, the knife edge of the feet, and then engaging through the adductors, the groin area. Come to stand all the way up, arms out by your side, rotate the feet, step the feet together, arms down by your side. Again, arms up, big step to the right, toes slightly turn in. This time, bring your arms out to the side, and we're going to fold forward. Bring your hands to grab the outsides of the ankles. Wherever you are, just make sure you're in a pose where you can hold it without holding your breath. If ever you find yourself holding your breath, just ease out of the pose a little bit. You've just gone too deep. Again, it doesn't matter if your pose looks like mine or anyone else's. You just want to feel a sensation. Engaging through the abductors again, using strength to come all the way up. Maybe heel toe the feet in a little bit. Step the feet together, arms up overhead, arms down by your side. One more of these. Arms up, big step to the right, turn your toes in slightly. This time we're going to bring our arms behind us. So we're interlocking all 10 fingers and squeeze the palms together. If it just feels better for you to do open palms like this, then by all means. I just prefer it like this, and so that's how I cue it. So arms are locked in at the lower back, leading with the chest. We're folding forward again. Once you come as deep as you can, release the arms. Let the hands get heavy and fall away from the lower back, opening up through the shoulders. Bring the arms back to the lower back. Squeeze through the legs, come all the way up, release the arms. Heel to the feet maybe a little bit closer, step together, arms up overhead, arms down by the side. Inhale, arms up. This time we're going to take a slightly shorter stance. Bring your arms down to your hips for this. And now we're going to rotate on the feet. So we want our right toes pointing to the top of the mat. And our left toes are at a 45-degree angle. To help with your balance, think about your feet being on train tracks. And if you want more of a challenge, you can have your front foot in line with your back heel. So two options there. So again, train tracks makes this a little bit more stable. If you have really good balance and you want the challenge, line up that back heel with the front foot. From here, hands on our hips, flat back. We're folding forward for our pyramid pose. You can release the arms as you keep folding forward. Both legs are straight. And then we're coming back up, hands on hips. Rotate through the feet to come to the other side. So left toes pointing to the back of the mat. Right toes are at a 45-degree angle. Nice flat back. Coming down for pyramid, trying to keep the hips square. Release the arms down. Let's stay here for one more breath. Bring your hands to your hips. Come all the way up. Step the feet together, arms up overhead. Release the arms down by your sides. We'll do one more side facing pose. So bring arms up overhead. Take a big step to the side. So again, big step, arms come down parallel. And we're gonna come into a warrior two. So back toes point to the side, front toes point to the top of the mat. Arms are strong and engaged. Imagine someone pushing down on your arms. So they're really, really strong here. And then bending through the front leg. Lower the right elbow down onto the right knee. Left arm reaches up. Coming into our side angle. Now you can stay right here. Bringing your gaze up past that left arm. You're pushing down through the knife edge of your left foot. If you want more of a challenge, you can pick up that bottom arm. And if you want to bring a bind into it, what you can do is open up the arms here and then wrap the right arm underneath and through the right leg. Left arm comes towards your lower back, and see if you can find the fingers. If you can't find them, that's fine. You can still just reach here. Gaze is up past the left shoulder. From here, we're going to revolve this. So left hand comes to the inside of the left foot, swiveling on that back toe. So we're up on the toe. And then right arm reaches up. That front knee is still bent. Bringing that right arm down, swiveling back on that left foot. So we're in a warrior two position. Windmill the arms up. Straighten through that front leg. Let that quad breathe. Turn those toes in. And left toes turn out. So we're just coming to the other side here. Bending through the left leg. Bringing left elbow to left knee. Right arm reaches overhead. Pushing through the knife edge of that right foot. Gaze up past the right arm. Now you can stay right here if you want a little bit more. You can extend that left arm. This brings a lot more strength requirements into it. Next option too, if you like to bind, open up through the arms, wrap the left arm underneath that left leg. Right arm comes to the lower back. See if you can find those left fingers. And then pull the right shoulder back. Gaze is still up towards the ceiling. If you're in the bind, release. Everyone, let's bring our right hand to the inside of the left foot, swivel on that back toe. And just revolving here. Left arm reaches up. Same thing, wrist is stacked over the shoulder. Bring that hand down, swivel on the back toes, windmill the arms up, straighten that leg, turn the toes in, heel to the feet together a little bit if needed. Step the feet together, arms together, arms down by your side. Coming to the middle of the mat, we're going to do a little balancing sequence before we finish out. So grounding down through the feet, again, like we did with our Tadasana, our mountain pose. And then I want you to pop the right heel up. So the toes are there as a kickstand. You can turn the toes out, so the knee is pointing out to the side, and really focus on grounding down through that left foot. Swivel left and right on the foot just to feel some control and balance and activation there. We're going to come into tree pose with a lot of options. So if your balance is off today, because our balance varies from day to day, you can stay right here. If you want to just play around with your balance, if you're new to balancing poses, pick up those right toes and just have them there to lower down to catch you if you wobble. Next option is bringing the sole of the foot to the inside of that left ankle. You can bring it up more to the calf. Some teachers don't mind if the foot is pushing against the knee. I advise against that, but personal preference. So I'd say either come below or above the knee. You can also bring your foot to the inner thigh. Use your hand to get it up there. Once you're there, push your foot into your thigh and your thigh into your foot, and that really helps with balance as well. And bring your hands through to heart center and really push your palms together. Again, really helps with balance. Set your gaze, your drishti, on a steady point somewhere on the floor in front of you. Left glute is engaged. Now you can stay right here. If you want a little bit more for this, let's grow our branches. So arms extend up in a V shape. Again, you can stay right here. Or if you want a little bit more, come into a little bit of a side bend. Keep pushing the foot into the thigh, thigh into the foot. As you bend, bend, bend. If at any point you fall out, that's fine. Take a deep breath and then slowly get into it. If you're doing the side bend, come back up. Bring the hands through to heart center. One more variation here. This is one I find really challenging because you have to shift your gaze. So it can really mess up your balance. So be playful with it and have fun. So interlock all 10 fingers. Extend the palms of your hand forward and then overhead. See how you feel here. And then if you want the added challenge of shifting your gaze, you're going to slowly walk your gaze up the wall towards the ceiling and then maybe up towards your hands. Slowly bring the gaze back. Arms come down to your hips. Release that foot. That's a lot on that left foot. So let's just do a really slow, gentle ankle circle in one direction and then the other. So that's great for really strengthening up through that ankle. If you have a tendency to roll your ankles, that's going to strengthen it. I do ankle circles a lot to forego that, but feeling that right there, like that's going to help as well. All right, now grounding down through the right foot. Kind of wobble right and left just to feel the control with those micro movements. And then we're kickstanding on our left foot. So heel is against the inside of the right leg. Toe is down there to help with your balance. Bring your hands to your hips. And if you're just playing around, just lift the toes and have them there to help catch you. If you want a little bit more, bring the entire sole of the foot to the ankle, maybe the calf, or maybe use your hand to bring it to the inner thigh. Once you're there, push the foot into the thigh, thigh into the foot. Bring the hands to the heart center and also push the palms together here. Right glute is really engaged. Gaze is steady. And now you can stay right here, or if you want more, grow your branches. If you want more still, you start to lean the left side. Coming back up through center, hands come back through the heart center. If you want to play around with this variation now, interlock all 10 fingers, palms reach forward, extend the palms overhead, and then maybe you start to shift your gaze. Move slow, slow. Bring your gaze back down, hands through to heart center, onto your hips, and release that foot. Now let's roll out the right ankle, slow circles in one direction, and then the other direction. We're going to come into dancer's pose here, so face whatever direction you want. I'm turning this way for the sake of seeing better what I'm talking about. I'm bringing my right hand to my hip, left hand is out like I'm holding a tray, grounding down through my right foot. I'm going to bring my left heel towards my bum, and then dropping this hand down without rotating the hand, so the palm's still facing out to the side. I'm going to grab from the inside. So not like this, from the inside. Try to square up the hips here. If you really need a strap or anything, then you can do that. If you can't grab your ankle, then just pretend you're grabbing it and you're just going to use more strength here. But if you've got it, bring your knees together in a nice little quad stretch here first. And then we're going to extend our right arm straight up. And first, we're going to kick. Kick into that left hand, kicking up and away as much as we can. Once you can't kick up and away anymore, that's when you start to hinge the upper body down. If you fall out of it, take a breath and slowly get back into it. Let your gaze, your drishti. And then slowly coming back up, knees together, release that foot, roll out the shoulders, give that leg a little shake if you need to, and then other side. So left hand is on your, well, let's do both hands on hips for now. Grounding down through the left foot, right heel towards bum, right hand comes up like you're holding a tray. Lower that arm without rotating through the forearm. Grab the inside of the ankle. Bring your knees together to start. Getting a nice stretch through the front of the right leg there, and then left arm comes up. And then we're going to start our kick. Kick as hard as you can. It really helps with the balance too. So kicking up and back, and then start to hinge forward. Kicking hard into that hand. Reach forward with the left hand. Coming out of it, knees come together. Release. Let's do each side one more time. We'll call that kind of the practice round, getting familiar with it, and now we're going to get serious with it. So left hand up like you're holding a tray. Pick up that left foot, grab the inside of the ankle. Right arm is up, knees are together, and start your kick. If it's accessible to you, You can bring your grip, your left hand more to your shin, closer towards your left knee, and then start kicking. Kick up and back, and then start hinging forward. Slowly release. Lower everything down, reset. Bring the weight into the left foot. Right hand comes up like you're holding a tray. Left heel towards your bum. Grab the inside of that right ankle. Bring the left arm up. Knees together to start. And then walk your hands closer towards your knee. If that's accessible to you, start kicking up and back. Up and back. And then start to hinge forward. Slowly come out of it. Release everything down. Take a deep breath here. Let it all go. Let's finish off with a little hip opener here. So we'll do a standing figure 4. Bring your weight into your left foot. Cross the right ankle over top of that left knee. Flexing through the right foot, and then we're going to sit back. You can bring your hands to the heart center. Maybe your forearms come in contact with that right shin. And then maybe try straightening through that leg, folding forward. You can stay folding forward if you want a little bit more. Bend through the left leg again and squat all the way down for toe stand. Walking our hands to either side of our hips. And you can stay right here. Let's reverse that to come out of it. Bringing the hands in front, straightening through the left leg. Hands come through to heart center. Stand all the way up and release. Let's come to the other side. Grounding down through the right foot. Left leg crosses up and over. Hands through to heart center, flexing through that right foot. Fold forward. Bringing the forearms to shins, sitting down into it. And then if you want, you can release the hands, straighten the right standing leg, folding into it. Next option is to bend all the way down, coming up onto the right toes. Walk the hands to either side, sitting as upright as possible for our toe stand. Bring the hands back in front, straighten all the way so we're in this forward fold. Find your balance, hands through to heart center, push to the palms as you stand all the way up. Release. Closing out now, let's come back to our mountain pose or Tadasana. So toes, big toes touch, slight gap between the heels. We're just gonna bring our hands to the hips or down by your side, personal preference. And we're going to do a final breathing exercise here. So we're going to do a few rounds of box breathing for the count of 4. If you're not familiar with box breathing, we're going to inhale for a count of 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, and repeat that cycle a few rounds. Let's do 4 rounds so that we can really get the groove of it. So let's take one regular breath. And let's begin. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Full lungs. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. One more round. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Bring your hands through to heart center. Bring your thumbs to your third eye. And in closing, we say, Namaste.